The story of Jaycee Dugard shocked the nation and revealed the failures of the nation's legal system in dealing with sexual predators. Kidnapped when she was just 11 years old, Jaycee Dugard was held captive for 18 years, a sexual prisoner of Philip and Nancy Garrido. Probation officers repeatedly visited the home, but they never found the missing girl. Well, tonight the prosecutor in this case has released disturbing new home movies that show how the older woman here, Nancy Garrido, stalked and videotaped other little girls to fulfill her husband's perverse desires. David Wright brings us the story from California for our series, Crime and Punishment.
Convicted child rapist Philip Garrido used to play guitar in playgrounds. His wife Nancy, working the camera, would surreptitiously zoom in on the kids. She was more than just the loyal wife of a sociopath.
You got me real good?
Yes. It certainly appears that she was actively involved in procuring the girls for his delight.
She was his partner, his sidekick, his pimp.
Please? Please?
Today, prosecutors released a new video from the back seat of her van as she coaxes a young girl to do the splits.
I bet you can go down really easy, huh?
Yeah, but that is easy.
Let me see you do it.
Cajoling a young girl to perform on video with a hidden camera for Philip Garrido's sexual perverted satisfaction.
Nancy Garrido was clearly every bit as perverse as her sick husband.
Making videos for his titillation. Look what I did for you. I'm doing for you. And when she pleases him, she gets confirmation of being a good girl.
Today, prosecutors also released a portion of her interrogation in which she admitted she did this more than once.
I mean, are we talking less than 20? More than 20?
It's got to be less than 20.
All of those kids are victims. Any of them could have ended up like Jaycee Lee Dugard.
Does it say record still?
Yes.
2 years earlier, the Garridos had kidnapped the 11-year-old Dugard. Incredibly, they held her hostage for 18 years, as Jaycee Lee Dugard told Diane Sawyer.
It seems impossible now that no one knew you were there.
Doesn't it?
It's impossible.
I know.
Impossible, not least because Philip Garrido was a known sex offender, sentenced to 50 years for rape, but released early after serving just 11 years with glowing reports from prison psychologists.
Unquestionably, the most disturbing mistake of the criminal justice system was the release of Phil Garrido in 1988.
A mistake compounded by incompetent parole officers who visited the Garridos' home dozens of times while Jaycee Dugard was a prisoner there.
You got any further questions coming to the office between 8 and 5?
60 times. They may have been just feet from your door.
Yep. Unbelievable.
The electronic monitoring bracelet Garrido wore on his ankle showed how much time he was spending in the backyard prison he had built for Dugard. But none of the parole officers, who were supposed to be keeping an eye on him, ever bothered to look. All the while, they filed glowing reports about him, noting his relationship with his wife, his growing and changing in a healthy manner, and remained supportive and strong. In hindsight, it's perfectly obvious their relationship was anything but healthy.
This is a highly disturbed, very primitive woman who is so psychologically dependent on this man that she would do his bidding.
Mr. Mesner?
ABC's Chris Cuomo tracked down some of the parole officers for answers.
Mr. Mesner, we just want to ask you a question.
They didn't have any. According to new details released today, Garrido violated the terms of his parole several times, but was not sent back to jail. He tested positive for drugs, including methamphetamine, submitted watered-down urine samples. In 1993, he finally did land back in federal prison for failing a drug test. And Nancy Garrido became Jaycee Lee Dugard's only jailer.
A whole month. He's gone.
Yeah, she said that he was on an island with a friend, but he was actually sent back to prison.
So it's the two of you.
Yeah. She would lock us in every night. She wanted to watch this scary movie called The Unborn. It was awful. It was very scary.
August 93, her husband, fresh out of jail again, Nancy Garrido was out trolling the playgrounds. That's when this video was taken.
Oh, you didn't show me your split, did you? Let me see it now.
Want me to see it? Show you?
Mm-hmm.
The little girl actually spots the hidden camera.
This is on.
No.
That light is on.
Oh, I don't know anything about that camera.
Nancy hurriedly covers it up.
Within a very few days after being released, that videotape is made by Nancy. All the while, they have a 12-year-old girl locked in their backyard.
Parents tell their kids all the time not to talk to strangers. This is why. I'm David Wright for Nightline in Los Angeles.